Welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind with your hosts, Jay Harmon and Sally Bernard. Jay and Sally have always wondered what the inspiration is that drives others to create and express their art. Inside the Artist's Mind, we'll dive into the mind of the artist and teach us more than we ever knew. Enjoy the show!
Hi, and welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind. Today we are coming to you from the Cugini Art Gallery and Wine Bar, and it's a great place. You all should be here today. This is a wonderful venue. I've had my art here displayed before. I still have one of the pictures that I had displayed right here. This was one that I had here last month called Cowboy Gear. And it's such a nice place. It's right downtown Lake Worth Beach. And my name is Jay Harmon, and this is
Sally Bernard.
And
Hi, Jay.
hello. And we're just really happy to be here today. And
We have two great guests
yes,
today.
yes,
really,
we do.
Really great
We have
guests.
some great ones. So let me right now introduce our first guest, and that's hello, I'm going to the second guest. Okay, it's Mary.
Mary Gallagher Stout, if you're nasty. Yes, sir, Babo.
Nice.
Nice
you're
to
sitting
see
in
you.
that chair, and we're going to interview you.
What's that?
And we'll be interviewing you. That's a beautiful show we have today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited
So,
to share.
Let's get this started. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary, and what you do, how you started, and what you're currently doing.
Okay, so I'm from Philadelphia. I would say my art grew out of trauma. Like if we're gonna go distill all of it.
Yeah.
But art has always been a way to sort of understand what I'm processing, because like with language and feelings, it's really kind of hard, and especially as a kid, like I had
Right.
trauma happen when I was little. So painting and acting and writing and being silly is a big part of who I am and what my work is, and just channeling and showing people that you can go through trauma and there is a light at the tunnel.
It's a way
And-
of releasing,
know.
right?
Exactly.
lot of
You have
that,
a new
yeah.
normal, and then you have your artwork out there, and you can share with people, because I'm all about service and making the
Right.
world better. So for me, I'm just trying to bring joyful artwork into people's houses right now. I went through a whole phase of other things, but right now the goal is to make people happy.
And I think you express that. I've seen some of your art. And being an artist myself, I recognize that. The amount of color that you put,
Yeah.
which I do too. So
I'm a
I
maximalist.
Totally relate to that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
you have beautiful artwork.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and it's also lively and just like you know.
That's one of the things that I've actually been really excited about. People have been saying that your artwork does look like you, and I think so many times, like when you meet the artist, it doesn't, and you're just like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like the person that I'm
Right,
seeing, and then it's
right,
this whole,
yeah.
then it's even more mysterious,
yeah,
where I
yeah.
just wear my heart on my sleeve, and
Right.
it's very expressionistic, it's very volatile, it's very chaotic. But then there are quiet spaces, and just storytelling and pop culture, cartoons, all of that's all part of it.
And do you find that when you're painting, and I know we've talked about this,
Mm-hmm.
Jay, too, that you express your mood, how you are? I didn't realize that, but I know that we all go through a darker mood than sometimes how we are.
Oh.
And some of the artwork that I've done during that period, having people brought that up to me, I do
Yes.
see it. I didn't see it before, but you feel that.
Yeah,
Do that a little bit.
it relates
I know we
somehow
had
to your
discussed-
feelings,
yeah,
to
right.
your frame of mind.
For
and
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think so much too of with that sort of the dark stuff, because like I do pet portraits, and nobody wants a sad dog, right? So you have to channel that. So I've been really good at compartmentalizing things my whole life. So
Right.
I've been able to kind of, and I have depression, and I have anxiety, and I've got all this stuff. Like I'm fully medicated, but and I'm happy to say that I'm much better now. But it's a matter of just really choosing. Life is a choice, and choosing to push forward. Again, though, I do give myself permission. Like, so with my pet portraits, I usually give like a 2-week turnaround, because I could be having, if I'm in a yuck day and I'm not producing, sometimes my paints don't work. I tell my husband that. I'm like, I went to the studio, the paints didn't work. The
But
problem.
sometimes can you feel that you get out of that situation or what you're feeling when you do start to paint? Do you
Yeah.
feel yeah, absolutely.
But then you go, I mean, like, because there's just different avenues. There's stuff that's for the public, and there's stuff that's just for
Right,
me.
right.
You know, I don't know that anybody would want the stuff that was just for me.
It's interesting. It's funny how I believe everybody, you know, we notice it on the show because we're not only interviewing artists, but people, art comes in many different
Correct,
forms.
yeah.
But it brings home a lot of things that I have been thinking about, and then they express. There's a
Yeah.
similarity, really, I
Oh,
would say.
I
Yeah,
think it's art is a universal language.
absolutely.
And I think that it speaks to everybody, but in a little different way.
Right.
I mean, an artist can have one idea in mind when they create a piece, but somebody else can look at it and they can get something totally different.
Right. Because it's all about what you experienced in your life that you're coming to with all of that, with looking at that
Right,
piece.
right.
And
So
that's what
it's-
makes art so cool.
Right, so it's
Right.
whoever can be looking at it can see something that relates to them.
Correct.
That's what makes art good, is because it relates personally to
Right.
everyone.
Right.
And
That's what I
found,
think.
talking for what I've experienced with myself, I can do a painting because I don't ever know kind of what I'm going to put on canvas, and someone else will come along, and I don't know if you relate to this. I feel that you might. That they will look at something that I had not even seen in the painting. My art is very abstract, as some of
Yeah.
yours is too. And then I recognize something that I'd painted that I didn't even know I'd painted. Have you had that happen to you sometimes?
Usually not in real time.
Okay. I just felt I needed to ask.
But
you
no,
that.
it's true. I mean, because a lot, it depends. Like I have some, I work in series, so I have some stuff that is just me trying to sort stuff. So I do like, I've worked from photos, and then I also like to have the graffiti stuff mixed in it. And I work from live, just life, being out, running around, or Instagram, I see something that just like gets me, and I screenshot a video, and I'll be like,
Right.
that's part of a painting. I don't know where, but yeah. So
It's fascinating,
So
isn't
it-
it? I
it-
love interviewing people. I never thought I could interview.
Yeah.
I'm always a reciprocate. But
Yeah,
now there's
it's-
so many questions that we can ask you.
yeah, because
Oh,
you
yeah,
just
and it's great to talk to artists, especially artists who really love their art.
Yeah.
And what they're doing,
Right.
and
well, I love what I'm doing, but the art is work. You know, and I'm sure you guys agree with. I mean, for me, I'm a professional,
when you're
full-time
commissioned to
painter.
do something.
That's
and
why they
you're-
call it
yeah.
artwork.
Yes,
That's right. And that's right.
but you got to put the work in, and I think that's people. I just think it's every day showing up in your studio and putting something on the paper or the canvas, or
Yeah.
I think that's most important.
But as long as you're enjoying it, I mean, and I often mention too, it's a passion, and you follow that passion.
But sometimes
feel
you
like-
don't enjoy things in your passion. You know what
Well,
I mean?
then
Like if
don't
you're
do
just
it.
like this,
I don't. I just don't do it.
You abandon
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt that I was drawn very much to art and also doing what we're doing in the studio.
Yeah.
And it makes, even on a bad day, because for myself and, that I'm painting something, it will
Right.
get me out of that feeling.
right.
So, yeah.
Painting
it's
your way out.
interesting. Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
so. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
there's
even if
sometimes
you're
when my
not
art
doing
makes
good.
me really mad, it makes me feel terrible.
Well,
I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where I'm painting and I'm doing something and I'm thinking it's supposed to go a certain way and I'm expecting it to do this, and then the paints give me the finger, and I'm like, seriously, guys? And then I get really frustrated. So I mean, I run into that.
yeah.
I would say at least once a week for
But,
sure.
but sometimes, do you find that because that happens, you can change what you were going to do, and maybe that was what it was intended
Well,
to be different?
that's been my go-to now, where I'm like, if you're in the ocean and you're surfing, you look for a wave,
Right.
So
Right.
what happens when I'm painting is I look for those moments, but I've only been able to do that when I have a bunch going on, because I just can leave it.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
that. You can always get up, walk away.
Right.
then
And
when
that
you're
was when I
homeless-
saw the biggest change in my art whatsoever. Because when I was at home with my daughter and son, like his moms were like, okay, I have this time to paint this. And I would be like, get this done. And to complete a painting like that was so stressful.
Because you're under that pressure.
And
Yeah.
and I didn't like half the work. And
Yeah.
when I finally juried into this studio space that was like an active art, there were lots of artists there. I had to leave because I had to pick my daughter up from school. And I remember like painting, be like finding a groove and be like really angry that I had to leave because I was like, oh no, I'm onto something. But it really was the best thing that ever happened to me,
Yeah,
being able to
yeah.
kind of take away and come back with
Yeah,
fresh eyes, where I was
I
like,
definitely kind of like
oh, and even when you
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
like when
yeah.
you're looking,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, this is such a hot mess
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
now.
but don't you find sometimes when you step away from a picture or you leave it alone for a little while or a day or two or
Yeah.
a week or something, you come back to it, it's a whole fresh thing?
Sometimes.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't necessarily have to,
Right.
but I mean, it.
But I even see that when you photograph it, like if you take a
Oh,
picture of your artwork
yes.
and you look at it on your phone, how different it
different it
looks.
is, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you
does.
can see a lot of different things that way too. It's
You
it's
notice
just
the things.
it's fascinating.
The whole thing is
yeah.
very fascinating. Because
Yeah.
I started later in life. I didn't know that I could paint until I actually started to paint.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop in
Yeah.
the very beginning. I was just painting and painting and painting, forgetting even to eat.
Yeah.
But that was then. I mean, I don't do that now. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So what age did you feel like you were enjoying art and that was something that you wanted to do?
I always thought I was gonna be an actress, quite frankly.
Well, that's just, I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
I used to do commercials and stuff and
did you?
put shows on
yeah.
in our house.
Yeah.
And I kind of live my life as a Saturday Night Live bit where I will find
Yeah.
moments to just kind of make a funny. And
Right.
that's my
Yeah.
husband sometimes gets annoyed with me because he's just like,
That-
nobody knows what you're doing. And I'm just like, it's absurd. It's funny.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, they'll get it when I give them the punchline.
Yeah, that's interesting because
Yeah.
you know Sally has said before that she wanted to be an actress.
Yeah.
And I used to be in theater. You know, so I think it all has to do with
So,
creative
yes,
arts.
it
Yeah.
does,
You
it
know, it's
does,
all
yeah.
kind of there, and you grab on to what
Right.
it is.
And I
that-
played instruments, like music. My mother was a concert violinist. Like,
Ah.
you know, my grandmother was a ballerina.
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
there was
there I
just
don't relate, but that's
not so much for me.
beautiful,
But
yeah.
I meant like I've just been
Yeah,
surrounded with
yeah,
music
yeah, yeah.
and creativity
Yeah.
for the first 9 years. I would say my formative years were very, very influenced by my mother, and that was really kind of crazy because I've been like writing for different grants, and I had this like aha moment where I've always been attracted to artwork that looks fresh and almost like just wild and as if a kid had done it, like anybody could have done it, but it's just like so raw. There's just such a visceralness to it. And I'm not necessarily like, you know, like a blue horse, like there's just something about that. And I've been studying, realizing that apparently that was around the same time that my mom died. So like my growth as an artist kind of stopped after she
Right,
died. And I wasn't
right.
interested in
Right,
creating
right.
realism and all of that stuff. And I never really understood why. And it's crazy to like when you think about it, I was like, oh my God, the reason I never went into realism
Yeah.
was because
Well, so much of art is psychological. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all in your mind.
Of
I mean,
course.
where does it, and it's how you express
Yeah.
what you have in your mind, and where do you get the ideas in your mind from your life?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
but it was
I
just-
mean, for myself again, where I can relate with you very much, is that I liked art, but I wasn't obsessed with going to museums and everything. But
Right.
when I started, I had no idea what my style was going to be.
Right.
And suddenly I'm doing all this abstract, but then I realized there are other people that do that. So I
Correct.
realized that is my style. That's
Yeah.
how I found my own style, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How
I'm
would
not
you-
the only crazy one, right?
How would you describe your style?
I would describe my style as very introspective, and it's a response to things that are happening around me in the world and what I'm seeing on my
Yeah.
day to day.
Would you say it's whimsical?
I think there's a whimsy to it. I think that there's decoys hidden in things because I think there's a lot of dark that we don't really see. Like somebody told me, and I was like all excited. They're like, "Your work is a violence of color," because it's just like I used to be very diagonals and very, but it was interesting to me. So I've been sitting with that for a little bit, like the violence of color and how I use color.
Do you find if you do have a break, and then I know with myself, my art it's still abstract, but it will change very much. Even the cut, if I have that break, and I'm not talking like a week or two, it could be a few months.
Yeah.
And then,
You mean a break like breakthrough or a break
no,
you
no,
stop
a
painting?
break from painting, basically. I mean, maybe you didn't, but I have had over the years.
Yeah.
I think we're being told that it's commercial time, a break. Oh, literally a break. We're having a break.
A break. How about that? Hey, give me a break.
We were on a break!
Yeah, thank you. I think we have another guest coming on.
So,
but-
anyway,
I know we
Mary,
have
it's
another
been great talking to you,
Great talking to
and
you
thank
guys.
you, and we love your art.
And
We
thank
love
you
being
guys
here.
for sharing your work and sharing your time, and I appreciate being put on, and everybody just paint.
Exactly.
Just
That's
paint and
beautiful
create.
message.
Just
So we'll see you soon
keep it
again.
going.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
a guest.
Okay, and we will be right back right after this commercial.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Welcome back to Inside the Artist's Mind with Jay Harmon and Sally Bernard. To be a part of the conversation, call 888-994-4995, Studio A. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. We have a wonderful guest today. And as you always do the introductions, I'm going to allow you to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming back and joining us again. We have another outstanding guest here. Today we have Nancy, and she's going to be talking to us about plants.
Amongst
And-
other things, and it's Dr. Nancy. I have to say that because I
am.
find and you are a doctor, your work absolutely fascinating. And we only just met, correct? So
What a
there was an
charm.
instant connection. Not to leave you out, Jay.
That's quite all right. No,
Yeah,
you,
no,
you
go
guys
ahead.
have a lot,
No, that's- yeah,
that you can talk about, and we'd like to hear more about what it is that you do, how you got started, and what it is that you that you work with.
Okay, hi, my name is Dr. Nancy Powers, and I am an authentic holistic metaphysician in the truest sense of the word. I am a board-certified holistic physician since 1992, and my focus has always been on holistic wellness care, and it's just getting more and more and stronger and stronger. And my message, which is really, really important for everybody to hear, is you internally, innately, have the power to make the change, to make the difference, to feel better every day in every way with guidance and support. And that's what we are here for.
I love that because, as I had mentioned, I also do have a show, as my viewers know, on a Monday. And it's not just the fact that I channel or what I do and I'm a psychic, it's believing that. And the belief system is so powerful and so strong. So I find your work absolutely 100% needed today. To just, if it's just to open someone's mind, that what you do is so needed, so
Yeah.
needed.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Especially since we all were dealing with a pandemic,
Right.
okay? And we survived. Those of you listening, you are survivors. A lot of people did not survive. So what makes the difference? What makes the difference in healing? When anyone is facing a wellness challenge, the first thing you must do is compartmentalize it. Don't ever say my this, my that. Don't say my diabetes, because you don't own it, and it doesn't own you. You might own your cat or your dog or your car, but not an illness. And your words are extremely powerful. Your word is your wand, like Florence Scovel Shinn says. And each of your cells reacts in kind. So whenever you're dealing with any kind of health issue, make sure that you never own it, and don't let it own you either. You're dealing with it. You're processing with it. And the second thing is, if you hear something you don't want to hear, you need to do more research and get a second opinion and a third opinion, because all doctors are in practice. It's medical practice, and they're practicing, hope they get it right. So that's something that's really important for people to understand.
That was brought home to me so loud and clear a couple of weeks ago. I'm not mentioning any names, of course, and they all mean well.
Right.
But I got 3 different diagnoses and 3 sets of creams. One said no. I happen to have to go to, I don't often go to doctors.
Right.
I very rarely go. But when I did, I had to go visit another doctor, told them what was going on. Immediately, the other doctor said to me, don't put that on. Don't. I'll give you another medication. So my belief is my belief, and I'm going to stand by my belief. I don't expect everybody to follow what I do, but I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
So basically, it's holistic.
Absolutely.
And,
Well, one of the things
it's what I
is
believe in.
the doctors have loads of patients, walls of files. You have your one self.
Yes.
So you
You know
must
yourself.
take
Right.
autonomy and
Right,
control of the situation.
That's true, because you know yourself, you know how you feel.
Right.
They don't know, they're not inside where you feel something,
And I
right?
don't have the time. I mean, my doctor was a new
inclination,
doctor.
generally.
Because I went to, well, again, I'm not going to say
Right,
whom,
I understand.
but I changed doctors. Because I don't usually do that because I don't see my doctors that
Right,
much.
right.
So the lady, and she meant well,
Right.
but didn't know me.
Right. It's
And
autonomy.
telling me something that I know is not what I want to hear because it's
Absolutely.
going into my own belief system.
Absolutely.
This is not coincidence. I don't believe in
No,
coincidences
no.
at all. I would never have been talking about this today.
Well,
but
it's a
just
healing
so
art.
important.
It's a
Yes,
healing
it
art.
is. It's an art.
So I want to take a moment and show the listeners what they can do at home to enhance their healing ability. And this
Good.
was something which was shown
Perfect.
to me back in the day. And I use it. My hands are, they're called them hands of God, I've been referred to as, and they get very, very hot, my hands. Whenever I touch the computer, I go through iPhones like crazy, because when I touch the mechanical realm, it freaks out. So I have to be really mindful, especially if I get excited, to wash my hands before I touch my phone. Seriously, I have to have the insurance
No,
on the
I
phones.
can,
Wow.
in my
Yeah.
own way, relate to that.
And even
know
if I
that.
go to the checkout and you have to press at the checkout, if I'm in a hurry, the whole system shorts
It's an
out.
energy.
Really?
that you're-
Yes,
Yeah.
several
Of course,
times.
absolutely.
When I would
Yeah,
take my daughter to school and I was late and you have to sign in, I would sign in and the electricity in the office went out, and after the 5th time, they're like, don't touch that, we'll do it. So I want to show everybody an easy exercise that you can do to improve your energy at home. You got your hands, okay? First thing that you have to realize, inside your hands, you have chakras, you have nadis, you have energy centers, okay? So what you want to do is close them, snap them. Then you feel that zip between, and you push your hands together until you feel that layer of connectivity without touching, okay? So let's try it again. And then you push your hands together and you'll feel it, okay? Now that layer is your etheric field. So that's really amazing, and that's healing, okay? It'll make you better in bed, out of bed, all the time, all the place, because your energy's better. Whenever you touch, and you can check this, if you have pets, once you do this and you feel that, you go by the cat, touch the cat, but don't touch it. And you'll feel the cat respond to the energy of your hands. And that's healing. And we all can cultivate this, which is amazing. So I really wanted to take this moment
That
to
was beautiful.
explain
Wow.
to
Yes,
people.
beautiful.
And when you touch, you think about this. It's the velvet. The hand is the velvet, okay? The whatever you're touching. So you touch the velvet, and the velvet touches your hand. This will make your ability to use your tactile touch essence improve dramatically. And watch where you go with that, because it's really extraordinary. And you just get really, really good at it. And then the other thing, which is really important, is to make sure that you are understanding that whatever your food is your fuel. So we're going to talk about the importance of plant medicine and plant health. We're going to have a new program talking about the healing power of plants, because when you have something, for example, if you know someone with a sore throat or a tickle in their throat, they should be drinking pineapple juice, because the pineapple, and the fresher the better, but get whatever you can. When you drink pineapple juice, it has a component in it called bromelain, and that eats up the mucus in the back of the throat, which is amazing. But when you drink it, you want to drink it and hold your throat open and let all of it bathe the back of the throat and the tonsils, and then swallow it. And you can even add lime for even more acidity, but all the little kids who are going to school with stuffy noses and sore throats, parents, this is the easiest thing you can do, and it does make a difference, and it's all natural. There's so many, so much
Pineapple juice.
information
Yeah,
on
that's-
plant
that's
medicine, which is just fascinating, so we're going to be exploring that as well.
So I have a nasal drip.
Okay, this will help
So
that.
absolutely, and I've been wondering what I can do other than
Well,
taking
that you would
nose
do a
sprays.
neti pot too. You would do a salt water saline, and even neti pots can be a little bit messy. They look like a genie container, and you squirt it up your nose. But you can get saline. You want to get nasal
Right.
saline,
That-
but you must positionally tilt your head back and let it cook behind your sinuses. Don't just go up.
Right.
You want to
I didn't know
learn
that.
how the
Yeah.
body works and all of the energy centers
Right.
of the body. It's just extraordinary. And no matter who you are or what position you are in, you have the ability and the power to heal yourself. And don't forget that. And
That's where
don't let
that belief-
anyone ever tell you. The doctors say, oh, a person has this long to live. They don't know. It's up to the divine, and it's up to you.
It's a lot up to, as I keep saying that, I'll always say this, it's our belief system.
Oh,
It doesn't, you
yes.
have to believe, well, you don't have to do anything, that's another
Right, you
thing
don't
to
have
say.
to, but
and
you
I
can
always think,
choose to.
"Oh, we only got 3 more minutes. Oh,
Okay, well, I
dear."
love you. You're all
But,
wonderful.
Yeah, but that's just, yeah, but I'll definitely have you on my other show too. But
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
all here. It's a mental thing. And if you don't believe it, I truly
Yeah.
believe that it's not going to work. But
Everything,
what you're doing-
what we were talking about before, everything, is all stems from our mind.
Unlocking
Yes,
it,
yes.
unlocking your
Unlocking, I
personal
love that.
power.
And
Yes,
I
which we
think
all have.
I think a lot of illness, even if it's a real illness, a lot of it is
Absolutely. And we hear about spontaneous remission.
Yeah.
We hear about miraculous healing. Where do you think that comes from?
Absolutely.
That comes from deep within, and you can do it, and we are going to help you do it.
Nancy, you know what I find I can't infuriating, because I understand that people don't understand this, but my message, I try so hard to say this is what can happen and will happen.
Oh, yes.
And, if you don't believe me, turn on a show where they
Absolutely.
talk about, as yourself, these things happen to doctors.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think that's for a reason, because someone may be more inclined to understand this if it's coming from a doctor than what I'm
Absolutely.
saying or somebody that's talking about it. I believe that's so important, a really, really important message that you're giving.
Thank you.
so
It's
much.
healing arts.
Yeah, definitely.
That's,
Thank
healing
you.
is an
that was
art.
great.
Thank
We were, we're so happy that you came on our show, and we're, and if anyone would like to contact you, how can they do
Yes.
that?
Okay, I think you put my information up. There's my
Okay.
phone number. I also do consultations. A lot of people have their medical cannabis card in Florida and don't really know what to do, and there's not a lot of information out about it. So I made a website about this, which I will show you, and it's called 420 Health News. If you click on 420healthnews.com, there is our specific scenarios. If a person is dealing with insomnia, if a person is dealing with inflammation, you can click on the specific sites and get information on what you need to do. So we didn't pass it last time, but knowledge is power, and education leads to legislation. And we just want to make the world a healthier place.
Thank you so
That's
much.
great.
you.
Thank you very
Wonderful.
much. We
Beautiful,
appreciate you
lovely
coming.
Love you.
Don't be a stranger.
And
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
And thank everybody there for watching our show today, and we hope that that you enjoyed it half as much as we did. So what
the
we
ambience of this place.
oh, this is
beautiful. Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to come
yeah,
here.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
a wonderful venue to just walk into, to walk around. It's you know, and
Well, the artwork similar to the studio.
the artwork
right?
it's like
It
maybe
follows
that's
us
why
everywhere.
we're relating to it, because
It
of all
follows
the
us
wonderful
everywhere,
artwork and
right,
everything here.
right.
But anyway, thank you very much, and we will see you again next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Inside the Artist's Mind. We hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week as we explore more about the artist's passions and inspirations.